Welcome to another video in my Follow Your Passion series. I have an entire video playlist on YouTube for that if you want to check that out. However, today I want to talk about something very specific that was inspired by a true story of a woman who recently left law school. And I think this is just a very fascinating story. But before we get into it, let's just talk about following your passion and your job. Now, this is a very specific type topic and kind of eerie and weird because I just did a whole video on space and the amazingness of space. So thinking of things from that level of science and such a large scope view of things, and going to a to these astrophysicists, going down to a more human problem or microscopic problem, it's kind of strange. However, I really think this is an important thing because we are humans, and that's following your passion and figuring out what you want to do. So I have really thought about it and considered both sides to this argument, and I've seen it all across the spectrum, from people who are forced to go to school or pressured or influenced tremendously by their parents to go to school. I mean, it's become such a common theme that people who are not Asian know about this, and they know about it. It's almost like a bit of a joke. And then I know I've seen it all through the spectrum, from people who actually do something that they like and have made a tremendous amount of money from doing something that they enjoy. So what is going on? What is right? What is wrong? What is the best practice? Obviously, everyone knows what the thing that they would ideally like to do, but then they have this practicality thing and all this pressure from their family or whoever else, and all this stuff that they're dealing with, this baggage. And so, after considering a lot of these issues and history, I think one of the things I've learned, especially from reading memoirs and books from billionaires and millionaires, is that there is a bit of practicality behind it. A lot of these millionaires, they grew up in the Depression. Ray Kroc, guy behind McDonald's. Who else? Rich DeVos, the guy behind Amway, and on and on. They grew up in Depression times. Warren Buffett, Sam Walton, before, after, or towards the tail end of World War II. And long story short, because of that, they learned that they had to hustle because they just wanted to have money to eat. So they hustled and did everything that they could. And, part of it was, I guess, their culture. Like, it wasn't a matter of follow your passion. It was like, we need to make money. We'll do anything we can to make money. If that means selling golf balls, if that means, going out and getting a paper route, which, funny enough, all of them had, all the people I mentioned had. If that means doing this stuff, that's what we have to do. And through that process, I would say they enjoyed it. They were all entrepreneurial by nature, and they loved it. So is it a real, good comparison? Maybe they already liked it. I don't know, because I think because of the culture that they grew up with, they weren't spoiled to the extent where they thought, oh, I'm not doing anything because it's not something I enjoy. Video games are all I enjoy. It was more so this culture of, we need to do this stuff. It's almost a given. You have to work. After school, you have to find a job and work at it. You have to do something entrepreneurial to make money if you wanted extra money. And that's how their parents taught them. So it was kind of a given. Now we don't have to live in that life, at least for now. Who knows? There may be another economical crisis, a global crisis. I'm sure it will occur eventually at some point in our future. Who knows when? Probably when we least expect it, or when everyone's just in a very prosperous state and overspending. But the bigger point is that more and more so, especially if you've been reading books, if you've been watching any self-help, self-improvement, or success books or courses or videos, as I have, a lot of these entrepreneurs, a lot of these coaches, they're saying follow your passion, and there's a lot of truth to it, because a lot of these, I mean, pretty much every billionaire, give or take a few, they really enjoy what they do. So where do you draw the line? I do think there is a bit of practicality behind it. I mean, we all have to eat, we all do have to survive, we have to have food on the table. At the same time, though, I think there's also a level of too much comfort where, especially if you've grown up middle class or upper middle class your whole life, you don't realize how low you can fall and still be okay. I mean, some of these people, they've gotten homelessness down to a science if you hear their stories. So, myself included and other people, we can easily fall into this false state of fear or, this false level of comfort. I need a certain level of income to survive. I need to have a TV and Netflix and computers and laptops, and sleeping on the streets and being homeless or living on $10 a day is out of the question. And I've been fortunate enough to learn a lot about travel blogging and seeing people do amazing things with very little money, to realize that it's highly possible, and eliminate at least some of that fear that traps a lot of these kids. And what does that mean? I mean, what I mean by that is that there are some amazing YouTube travel bloggers and amazing videos behind that. I mean, there's this one video. It's called something like "This Is Home," and this man, if I remember, I'll put up a montage somewhere on the screen. This man traveled over 60 countries, saw the most amazing, places in the entire world, did all of this, and did it on $20,000 a day for about 3 years. It's incredible. And sure, he had to make a few sacrifices, but even for him, I don't think he would consider them sacrifices. He had a full life, and what that meant was couch surfing. So for him, he had to share lodgings with people and do a lot of stuff. And for him, it worked. Like, he lived a very full life. He still had food on the table, did all this amazing stuff on a very low budget. So it just goes to show you how, there's a lot more to the world than people think. So many people, they're sitting in an office, maybe even making $50,000 a year, spending most of it on crap that's not really making them happier, going to a job that they hate, 9 to 5 every day, and just like hating life. That's just horrible. So, long story short, what am I saying here? Well, there's a bit of practicality to the picture too, but I think that for a large percentage of people, you want to really consider, am I doing something that I absolutely hate? If you're on that extreme, I think you have to drop it. I think there's enough in the world right now and in the future that you can do something that you enjoy. You can find something where you can make money, you can make a huge impact, you can make more than just a little money, a lot of money, doing something that you love as well. I think the world is a bright place. It's a prosperous place. And this video was inspired by a woman who was pretty much in that exact place. She was in law school, considering the fact that she hated what she did, that she still had many years ahead of her in law school, 2 years, and then she was probably going to hate her job and do all this stuff. And that just sucks. So that's all I gotta say. As always, like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video, and hopefully this video provided you some value. Peace.